momentarily after this brief prayer to the spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, which verse are we reading today? From the Bhagavad-gītā.
9:10.
9:10, correct, for 500 points. Okay, so let me bring up that. But before we go to 9:10, we're going to read through the chapter and we will read 3 verses each, right? And I'll put up the reading order for today and we will take it from there. Okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen and begin my weekly struggle. Something or the other happens all the time. So Sutapa is joining us here. It's good. Sutapa, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Sutapa.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I wanted to share. Share. And I want to share first the most confidential knowledge, then this. And this. Let me see. What are you seeing as part of the share?
Chapter 9 and the list.
And the list, you see both, right? Okay, yeah, it was not indicating me nicely what it was doing. Okay, so then we'll get started. Reading order is Sukamal Radhe, Premai Radha, and Sutapa Mataji. And if any more come, then we will add them towards the tail end, except for if Vindhyavali joins, then we'll put her after Sukamal Radhe, because she recognizes only that voice. All right, so let's get going without much ado. And we go.
The
Sukamal
most confidential knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence." This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world.
By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rests in me.
7. O son of Kuntī, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. The whole cosmic order is under me, under my will. It is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral.
Jyoti Mataji.
Ji, Hare Krishna Mataji. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kuntī, producing all moving and non-moving being. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Fools deride me when I descend in human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Those who are thus bewildered,
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama and the Yajur Vedas.
I am the
Mataji.
goal. Yes, Mataji, Jyoti Mataji.
No.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold the saint for the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly purified of sinful reactions. They take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the result of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principle of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and deaths. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kuntī. But they do so in a wrong way. Hare Krishna ji.
Varshana? Are you on mute, Varshana Mataji?
Hare Krishna. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or a water, I will accept it. Hare Krishna.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, vaishyas, merchants, and shudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination.
How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any thoughts, any comments? Anything stuck your mind from what you read?
Just want to ask a question, Mataji. When in the text 11, it says that fools deride me when I descend in the human form. So, in what way do they deride him?
There are various ways in which they can deride him. They can just say that he's a mystic, he's not God. That is one way of deriding, and then they give various explanations for that. So the lowest form of explanation is that Krishna is nothing but a very smart politician, right? That's one. And then they go a little higher, and then they will say, but he's not God, but he is somebody who's got mystic powers. And because of those mystic powers, he was able to do things like lifting the Govardhan hill and all that, right? But those are becoming heavier than the heaviest, and then you can lift things, right? So that is one way of doing that. And then that a little higher there is that they say that he's God, but what he's saying is that his body is like yours and my body. And so what you should be respecting is actually the Krishna within that body, which is basically they're saying his body is material. But that doesn't happen. Krishna's body, there's no difference between Krishna and Krishna's body.
In his body, yeah.
Right. In the sense that here we are souls, and then we are inside a material body. So that's our package is that, right? But in his case, he's the same inside and outside. He's the same as Krishna, transcendental. There's no concept of a soul and then, soul and then a body there, right? So that's why in 4th chapter, he says, right, Jan karma cha medyamyam evam yodeti tatvata. Right? Tattadeham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna. So he says that if you understand, for people who are able to understand his birth, what does it look like, right? And the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we also see that the way he's conceived also is not the normal way that he's conceived. He starts from, the mind of Vasudeva and enters into the heart of Devaki, and from there he goes into like that, right? So he's different, but fools will just say that, avajananti mamoda manusham tamam ashuta param bhavam na jananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. They do not understand that Krishna is the supreme controller of everything. They'll say he's just a politician, a yogi, or things like that. So that's how they deride him. Deride is to put down.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Good question. Anything else anybody noticed before we go further? Is that a question? Okay, maybe not. Okay, so then we'll go into the verse for today, which is 9.10, right? mayādhyakṣeṇa prakṛtiḥ. Mayādhyakṣeṇa prakṛtiḥ sūyate sa-carācaram hetunānena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. Mayādhyakṣeṇa prakṛtiḥ sūyate sa-carācaram hetunānena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Mayādhyakṣeṇa prakṛtiḥ sūyate sa-carācaram hetunānena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. Maya means by me. Adhyakṣeṇa by superintendence. Prakṛtiḥ material nature. Sūyate manifests. Sa both. Cara-acaram the moving and the non-moving. Hetunā for the reason or purpose. Anena this. Kaunteya O son of Kuntī. Jagat the cosmic manifestation. Viparivartate is working. So what is the Sanskrit for moving and non-moving?
Cara-acaram.
Cara-acaram. Sounds very nice, right? Cara-acaram. Char and achar. Right? Char is moving, acharam is
Cara-acaram.
moving. Sounds like something you can eat also, right? Cara-acaram. Okay. And then tell me what is the Sanskrit for if something is working?
Viparivartate.
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 And then what is the Sanskrit for the reason?
Hetunā.
Hetunā.
And then if something is manifested?
Sūyate.
Sūyate, correct. Okay, so let's look at the translation here. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kuntī, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is stated here that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from all the activities of the material world, and how do we know that he's aloof for all the material world? That is because we know that he has said that in the previous verses, right? So it's clearly stated here that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from all the activities of the material world, remains the supreme director. mayādhyakṣeṇa, right? So
Kṛṣṇa
is under him. So the Supreme Lord is the supreme will and the background of this material manifestation, but the management is being conducted by material nature. So we have to understand Supreme Lord is the supreme will. Kṛṣṇa also states in Bhagavad-gītā that of all the living entities in different forms and species, I am the Father. The Father gives seed to the womb of a mother for the child, and similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his mere glance, injects all the living entities into the womb of material nature, and they come out in their different forms and species according to their last desires and activities. I'm going to repeat that. The Father gives seeds to the womb of the mother for the child, and similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his mere glance, injects all the living entities into the womb of material nature, and they come out in their different forms and species according to their last desires and activities. All these living entities, although born under the glance of the Supreme Lord, take the different bodies according to their past deeds and desires. So the Lord is not directly attached to this material creation. He simply glances over material nature. Material nature is thus activated, and everything is created immediately. Because he glances over material nature, there is undoubtedly activity on part of the Lord, but he has nothing to do with the manifestation of this material world directly. This example is given in the smṛti, where there is a fragrant flower. When there is a fragrant flower before someone, the fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person. Yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. There is a similar connection between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, he has nothing to do with the material world, but he creates by his glance and ordains. In summary, material nature without the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot do anything. Yet the Supreme Personality is detached from all material activities. Hari Om. That's it.
He says that in the last chapter, last verse also, that even though
Right.
I'm always detached from all these material activities.
Correct. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, that concept is continuing on, right? Yeah. And so, okay, hold on to that thought. We'll talk more about that. Anything else that came across to you all?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, in Brahma Samhita also, Brahmaji is saying,
yes.
that lot of millions of universes are coming out of his body, right?
Yes, coming out of his body, Narayan's body, right? And the whole universe has come out of that, right?
Yasya Prabhavato Jagat.
Yeah, let's bring that up. There are a couple of verses over there, and we can we can go over there. So let's see. Come on, library, Brahma Samhita. I think it is starting verse 7 is when it starts, but let's see. The whole eternal Goloka, the surrounding plane of Goloka is divided. He's still defining the Lord of Gokula as a transcendental Supreme Godhead. Kṛṣṇa never consorts with his. See here, text 7. Mayaya ramamanasya naviyogastaya saha atmana ramaya reme tyakta kalam sisrikshaya. So here he's saying, and let's continue on our reading. Who was the last person who read? Was it Premai?
Mataji, I am here, Mataji.
Sutapa read it? Yes, I saw you. Sutapa, right? So we'll continue on. Sutapa, you read the last one, right? Then Jyoti, continue. Do we still have Jyoti with us?
Krishna never consorts with his illusionary energy. Still, his connection is not entirely cut off from the absolute truth. When he intends to create the material world, the enormous pastime in which he engages by consorting with his spiritual sit potency, Rama, by casting his glance at the deluding energy in the shape of sending his time energy is an auxiliary activity. Purport.
Yeah, I'll have the next person pick up the purport to read. That'll be Varshana. Just read one paragraph from here.
The illusionary energy has no direct contact with Kṛṣṇa, but has got indirect contact. Vishnu, the prime cause, lying in the causal ocean, the plenary ocean of a Mahasankarsana, who has his seat in Mahavaikuntha, the sphere of Kṛṣṇa's own extent transcendental pastimes, casts his glance towards the deluding energy. Even in casting his glance, he has no contact with the deluding energy, because the spiritual chit potency, Rama, then carries the function of his glance as his unpolluted, ever submissive potency. The deluding energy as the maidservant of the spiritual chit potency, Rama, serves the manifested plenary portion of Godhead consorted with Rama. The time energy representing the force of activity and instrumentality of Rama. Hence, there is found the process of masculinity, masculinity or the creative force. Hare Krishna.
Niyati sa Rama Devi tatpriya tadvasham tada tallingam Bhagavan Shambhur Jyoti Rupa Sanatanaha Yayonihi sa parashaktihi kamo bijam mahatharehe. Let's see, whose turn is it now?
Vindhyavali
Vindhyavali.
Mata.
Okay, can you read the translation?
Yes, Mataji. Thanks, Srila Prabhupada. The secondary process of association with Maya is described. Rama Devi, the spiritual chit potency, beloved consort of the Supreme Lord, is the regulatrix of all entities. The divine plenary portion of Kṛṣṇa creates the mundane world. At creation, there appears a divine halo of the nature of his own subjective portion, Swamsa. This halo is divine Sambhu, the masculine symbol of or manifested emblem of the Supreme Lord. This halo is the dim to light reflection of the supreme eternal effulgence. This masculine symbol is the subjective portion of divinity who functions as progenitor of the mundane world, subject to the supreme regulatrix niyati. The conceiving potency in regard to mundane creation makes her appearance out of the supreme regulatrix. She is Maya, the limited non-absolute apara potency, the symbol of mundane feminine productivity. The intercourse of these two brings forth the faculty of perverted cognition, the reflection of the seed of the procreative desire of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
Who is next?
Me.
Yeah.
Shankarshan
Pushpa doesn't read. Yeah.
Sankarshan, possessed of creative desire, is the subjective portion of Kṛṣṇa, taking the initiative in bringing about the birth of the mundane world. Lying in the causal water are the primal Purusha avatara. He casts his glance towards Maya, the limited potency. Such glance is the efficient cause of the mundane reaction. Shambhu, the symbol of masculine mundane procreation, is the dim halo of this reflected effulgence. It is this symbol which is applied to the organ of generation of Maya, the shadow of Ram or the divine potency, Rama. The first phase of the appearance of the mundane desire created by Mahavishnu is called the seminal principle of Mahat or...
I'm just scrolling.
Yeah, it's Mahat or the perverted cognitive faculty. It is this which is identical with the mental principle ripe for procreative activity. The conception underlying it is that it is the will of the Purusha who creates by using the efficient and material principles. Efficiency is Maya or the productive feminine organ. The material principle is Shambhu or the procreative masculine organ. Mahavishnu is Purusha or the dominating divine person wielding the will. Pradhana or the substantive principle in the shape of mundane entities is the material principle. Nature embodying the accommodating principle Adhara is Maya. The principle of embodied will bringing about the intercourse of the two is the dominating divine person Purusha. Subjective portion.
Sorry, just 1 second. I'm trying to scroll.
Subjective portion of Kṛṣṇa, the manifester of the mundane world. All of these three are creators. The seed of amorous creative desire in Goloka is the embodiment of pure cognition. The seed of sex desire to be found in this mundane world is that of Kali, who are the shadows of the divine potency. The former, although it is the prototype of the latter, is located very far from it. The seed of the mundane sex desire is the perverted reflection in this mundane world of the seed of the original creative desire. The process of the appearance of Shambhu is recorded in the 10th and 15th shlokas.
10th and 15th shlokas of the Brahma Samhita.
Brahma
Right?
Samhita.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, this has been translated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and who is a generation ahead of Srila Prabhupada. And you can see how difficult his English is, right? To understand, he's not written
It's very
simply
hard to understand,
to
Mataji.
understand also. That was a style
Mataji,
in
I
which
was about to say, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया. I didn't understand much. But except
Right.
that few words, you know, how the creation is done, which we have read already. But the what is
the
the main
words,
thing I have not
yeah,
been able to
yeah, the
follow.
words that are used, right? So if you go back to the verse from today, right, Bhagavad-gita 9.10, okay, and see how simply Krishna has put it here.
Yes.
Okay? mayādhyakṣeṇa prakṛtiḥ sūyate sa-carācaram hetunānena kaunteya jagad viparivartate, right? And he's translating that as that this material nature, which is one of my energies. Okay, we all know that material nature, this world, this whole thing is Krishna's energy. Krishna has different types of energies, of which material energy is one of them. And it is an inferior energy as compared to the other energies that are there. So, the material energy, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. But we have to remember that this material energy is working under Krishna's direction. So it's not that she's independent and she does everything, right? If you go to, I think, what was it? I don't think it is 714, not 4. BG 714. Yeah, here. See? Here in 714, he had said, Devi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. So he's saying in the translation, this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Now, in the Purport, Prabhupada is telling us that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Although the living entities are part of his energies and are therefore divine, but due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures begin emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Being emanations from Supreme Personality of Godhead are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to the contamination by the inferior nature or matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nityabadha or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material energy is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy as compared to the others, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection. Because somebody might just ask, well, why are you calling this as divine? Anything that is connected to Kṛṣṇa as divine, but this material energy is lower, right? So it's saying that, why is it? Because it still has a connection with the divine. It is Kṛṣṇa's, one of Kṛṣṇa's energy. And since Kṛṣṇa is divine, everything connected to Kṛṣṇa is divine, right? So because of that, they're saying that it is divine in the verse, in the translation it said. And the movement is, its movement is also by the divine will. So that's why he's calling it as the divine energy over here. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. So why is the material energy able to do such fantastic things? Because it's being done under the will of the Lord. So the Lord is the original one who is willing that to happen. Okay. So, and that is what here he's saying. This divine energy is difficult to overcome, but then the material energy itself is being conducted by the will of the Lord. So he's saying that in the second part of the verse, he says, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Right? So if you surrender to Lord, now Lord is going to take care of it. Surrender means that only, right? I have surrendered, now you take care of my everything, you're going to take care. So if I surrender to Lord and ask him to take care of me, and then, for example, it happens with kids like elder brother, younger brother. Younger brother is like 7 years younger than the elder brother. The older brother will beat the younger one, right? And what will the younger one do? Go run and go and sit in the lap of the father. Now the elder brother cannot do anything, right? So similarly here also, when the living entities surrender to the Lord, they've literally gone and sat in his lap. Now this material nature cannot do anything to them. Why? Because material nature itself is under the control of the Lord, right? Just as the elder brother is in control of the fathers and cannot do much harm to the younger brother if the brother is sitting on the father's lap. Similarly, here also, if you surrender to the Lord, then you cannot do over there much. She cannot do much because she's under the will of the Lord. Right? So the Vedas confirm this as follows: Mayam tu prakṛtiḥ vidyan mayinam tu maheshwaram. Although Maya illusion is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwar, or supreme controller. Supreme controller says that in Ashvatar Upanishad 4.10. Right? So I'm not going to read the whole of it, but just we have to understand here that the only way to overcome this material energy is to surrender to the Lord, right? And in today's verse, what is he saying here? The material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, right? Same message from there also we got, right? From the purport, we got the same message. And then he's saying that, O son of Kuntī, she's working under my direction, and under his direction, she works. And how does he do? She's producing all the moving and non-moving beings. Right? So producing anything moving means like us and animals, non-moving are like plants, right? So Maya will produce all these things, okay? And then when it comes to Maya, she created all this and she's manifested all these things. And under Maya's rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So through prakṛtiḥ, it will be created and annihilated. But again, you have to remember that the desire to create and the desire and the will to annihilate comes from Lord. So in Brahma Samhita, what Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was explaining to them is that when something is created, there are various elements to that creation. Okay? For example, an owner of a furniture shop, right? There's an owner in a furniture shop, and that owner wants to make a very nice sofa set, okay? And so he will ask the carpenter in his shop to make it. Now, the carpenter cannot make it out of anything. He needs some material, right? So, and then a sofa is made. Now, when you look at that beautiful sofa, if you were to say, like, what was done to make this creation? How was this sofa set created? Okay. So there are various elements and aspects to that contribute to its creation. The first one was that the owner wanted to create, right? The owner had the will to create. If the owner doesn't have the will to create, the carpenter cannot create it by himself or herself, right? So the will has to be there, and the will has to come with somebody who has got the power. Why? Because now when the carpenter wants to create, the carpenter has been assigned that now you have to create this, right? And he has got the skills to create it, but he needs the material. The material has to be procured or owned by somebody, and the shopkeeper owns that raw material also, right? Similarly, Kṛṣṇa owns everything over here. So in the example, if I were to correlate this example with the example of creation of a universe, then Kṛṣṇa is the shop owner, Maya is the carpenter, and everything that, all this Mahat-tattva, the 5 elements, right? Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Revacha, right? Those are the material. Right? So when people look at that, when they look at an item of creation, you will say that there is the original cause. The original cause is the desire, right? Original cause is the desire to create. Then there is a material cause. What is the cause of this creation of this sofa set? It is the wood, it is the cloth, it is the nails, right? So that is the material cause, all the material elements, items that went into creating it. But somebody had to take the wood and had to saw it, right? Somebody had to take a nail and drive the nail through the arms and legs and all that of the sofa set, right? So the one who is doing that is called as the efficient cause, okay? So there is material cause, there is efficient cause, and then of course there is the original cause, the desire which was there, right? So when Kṛṣṇa wills to create, okay, when Kṛṣṇa wants to create a Kṛṣṇa in the form of Mahavishnu, okay? When Kṛṣṇa in the form of Mahavishnu, prakṛtiḥ or material nature is said to be in touch with Kṛṣṇa, related to Kṛṣṇa, and 7.14 even called her divine. Not because she is divine, not because she is transcendental, but because she is associated with the transcendental and works under the control of the transcendental, which is Kṛṣṇa. She is called as divine, although she is material. Okay. And then in the Brahma Samhita, it was saying Kṛṣṇa never consorts with his material energy. So consort, you know who it is, right? The partners, never partners with the material energy. And so how does all this happen? How does all this creation happen, right? So the creation happens by way of a glance. Kṛṣṇa will only glance at the material energy. And then Brahma Samhita went on to explain that even though Kṛṣṇa is glancing at the material energy, he is not still connected with that with the material energy, because in the middle, Rama comes, right? His chit potency, his divine potency, his divine energy. Who is Rama? Radha, right? Rama is nothing else than Radha, right? And they also said that she's the supreme regulatrix. So Radha is one of Kṛṣṇa's energies, and she controls all the other energies, right? So even whether it is lower energy like prakṛtiḥ, and then it says that glance takes the form of Shambhu, right? Shambhu or Shiva, and he says divine Shambhu, so divine Shiva. So Kṛṣṇa's glance is actually Shiva that we talk about, right? And there's always this question about who's bigger, who's more powerful, and who's who. According to Brahma Samhita, Shambhu, but Shiva is the divine Shiva is a glance of Kṛṣṇa. So when he puts that glance is Shiva, which we understand as the male reproductive organ. That's why you see the Shiva Linga is a ling, right? Striling, pulling, you know that. So that's a ling. And how does that association happen? So it will be, what will be associating with Prakriti will not be Kṛṣṇa, but the glance of Kṛṣṇa, which is Shambhu. So it will be Shambhu who will go and associate with Maya. And so now you know, if Shambhu is associating with Maya, what is another name of Maya? Who does Shambhu associate with?
Durga Devi.
Durga Devi, yeah, or Parvati, right? Like that. So now you got the connection that Durga Devi and all that, they are not divine. This is what it is, right? And so what he's saying is that although you might see, so then what the job to be done is, as you see in the mundane world also, that for a child to be born, the soul has to enter the womb of the mother, right? And so father becomes the instrument in carrying that soul and putting it in the womb of the mother. Similarly, there also, this world is a reflection of what happens otherwise, right? So there also something similar has to happen. The souls have to enter the womb of somebody, right? But here we are not talking about a small lady in a womb, right? We are talking about millions and billions of souls. And they are all inside the body of Mahavishnu. And when he glances through the glance, those souls are, planted into Prakriti, like that. And then later on, so that's the first type level of creation. First level of creation is the elements will be created. Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu. And then in the next stage, all these entities will be put inside. But after they have been put inside, they're still not manifest. You still cannot see, okay, that is Shraddha-devi Dasi over there, like that, right? So they have to be given a shape. So some of that shaping is done by Brahma, right? So Brahma is also said to be a creator like that, right? So what they're saying is that even though Kṛṣṇa is creating it, and he's injecting all the living entities into the womb of Prakriti, he's not involved in it. He's not in direct contact with Prakriti. He brings in the glance, which is Shambhu, in front, like that, right? So that was, in nutshell, how this creation is actually happening. And we have to remember that today's verse is saying that, well, let's go back to the verse and I'll bring it up here. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, right? So this is the original cause, right? Kṛṣṇa wants that. And why does Kṛṣṇa want this to be created? Why does
Because
Krishna
of
have
the
to do that?
desire of the human being. Because of the desire of the soul which has gone away, and now it has some desires, and those desires are to be fulfilled. That's why Krishna is giving them the same kind of birth and the body.
Right. Yeah. So for our own benefit, Krishna is creating this, right? Because we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. So he goes through his whole thing, right? So although it says, and several places, I have got nothing to do with it, I've got nothing to do with it, right? I've got nothing to do with it. He's saying that, but he has everything to do with us, right? Because we are his children, we are his wayward children who have decided to go against him, but because he loves us so much, right? And then in 14th chapter, 14:4.
Mataji, I want to ask something.
Yeah, just hold on to that thought, Jyoti. I'll get back to you. Right, so here he says, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapitaha. Okay, let's continue our reading. Who's next in line to read?
You're not sharing, Mataji.
I was not sharing. Oops, sorry. I forgot to share. Okay, let's see. Bhagavad-gītā 14.4 and then the reading order. All right. Can you see it now?
Not yet. No.
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. Whose turn? Who was the last one to read?
Preeti. I led
Preeti.
last.
Okay, Prema-i-Radha.
Prema-mai.
I have to read the purport.
Translation.
Yes.
Just
It
start
should
from
be understood. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kuntī, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father.
Okay, who's next?
Me, Mataji.
Okay.
Purport. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, is the original father of all living entities. The living entities are combination of the material nature and the spiritual nature. Such living entities are seen not only on this planet but on every planet, even on the highest, where Brahma is situated. Everywhere there are living entities. Within the earth there are living entities, even within water and within fire. All these appearances are due to the mother, material nature, and Krishna's seed-giving process. The purport is that the material world is impregnated with living entities who come out in various forms at the time of creation according to their past deeds.
Past deeds, right? So here you understand that Krishna's seed-giving process. Seed-giving process is what? The glands.
Glands.
Right? The glands that he gives, right? Because Krishna can create through any organ. So you see, in this case, he's creating through his eyes. Like that. You see? There. And so one question, and I'll come back to you, Jyoti. I haven't forgotten your question. One question that I'm asking the class is that here it is saying that I am the seed-giving father. So we are his children, right? Is there any other verse from Bhagavad-gītā where you would see this thing, right? That we are his creations and we are. Is that an answer? Any other verse which comes close? Here. 15.7. Who wants to read 15.7? Who is next in line to read?
Oh my God.
Whose turn is it to read? Sutapa?
Mine, I think.
Jyoti did it.
Who was the last one to read?
Jyoti Mataji.
Jyoti?
My
Okay,
turn. My
okay,
turn.
Jyoti. Good. Okay, go ahead, read. He this or this, whatever is comfortable.
Mame vansho jeev loke jeev bhuta sanatanaha mana shashtani indrani prakriti sthani karshati.
Okay, Varshana. Translation.
The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind.
Right. And they are struggling here. And who's the reason for their grief? Who gives them grief in this material world?
First time.
The senses.
Mind.
Yes. But who's the regulatrix? Who's regulating all this material world?
Mind, Mataji. Mind.
Maya.
Maya, right? So they
Yeah.
are struggling hard with the six senses, and because of the Maya is making them go through that, right? So Maya controls that. And but although we are parts of Kṛṣṇa. And then how do we overcome that? We talked
How
about
do
that.
we?
7 dot. How do we overcome this thing? That's the struggle that is happening. How can we get out of this struggle?
By controlling the mind and by surrendering ourselves.
Yeah, how
Then
surrendering to Kṛṣṇa, right? You said, why? Quote me a verse. How, by surrendering to Kṛṣṇa, you can overcome Maya.
Man mana mat bhakto.
No, Manmana Bhakta is Krishna saying you become my devotee. My question is which verse?
Daivi,
Yeah,
Daivi
Daivi
Isha
Gunamayi,
Gunamayi
Mama
Maya
Maya
Durashya Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam taranti te.
right? 7.14, right? That
Yeah.
is saying that Daivi Esha Gunamayi, who is saying this is my divine energy. But if you surrender into me, very difficult to overcome. But if you surrender into me, then you will be able to cross over. Okay, good. I'll stop here and take Jyoti's question. Jyoti Mataji, go ahead.
Mataji, my question is, if you go back, first time when this Krishna has put the glance, the creation was done. At that time, whatever was created, started from, I can say, from the 0 point, will have no desire, no karma, nothing.
There is a desire. That
No
desire.
desire.
There is desire. There is desire,
No,
and I'll tell you how.
Mataji, what I'm saying, at one, going back to the history or the chronological order, first time when it was created, there has to be first time somewhere.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, in the context of creation, there are two types of creation, right? One is this material creation, right? So I'm saying when the material creation is created, even for the first time, you were saying when he cast the glance for the first time, right? When he cast the glance for the first time, and you are saying there should be no desire, and I'm saying there is desire. And why am I saying there is desire? Because this whole glancing business that Kṛṣṇa is participating in is because the desire of the living entity who are nothing but his children. It was a desire of his children to enjoy separate from the father. And he's saying, okay, you have the desire to enjoy, so I'm going to put this over here, right? So that's one creation. Now let's look at the other creation, for which we do not know when it actually started. But if you logically think, it would have started at some point that Kṛṣṇa is there and he creates all these living entities, maybe right in the beginning or later or whatever he does, right?
From the
Right? And he has wired all of us. He has wired all of us that we will be happy. He's designed us in such a way that we'll be happy by serving him, doing devotional service to him. Okay. And he wants us all to love him. But in order to check, or in order to make sure that the love we are offering him is true love and pure love, he has to give us the freedom to choose, right? Otherwise, if I put a gun on your head and say, Jyoti Maji, do you love me? What's the answer you're going to give me, right? So I have to let loose. I have to let you loose. And then, if you really love me, you'll come to me by yourself. I don't have to pull you. So that's the approach that Kṛṣṇa takes. So he made 100% of the living entities were designed like that. Everybody had the freedom and everybody was wired that they will be happy only when they are doing devotional service to Kṛṣṇa. And so we all did. Now 25% of them, just along the line, exercised their free will in the wrong way and said that I want to enjoy separate for Kṛṣṇa. Why should I be doing worship for Kṛṣṇa? So then
That
Kṛṣṇa, in
means
order to teach us, creates this whole material world, this whole glancing onto prakṛtiḥ, all that happens.
that first time when it was created, that everything was equal.
Yes.
Everyone was equal.
Yes.
And only because of the free desire, subsequently,
Yes.
freedom which was given, that desires were created in individuals.
Exactly.
And that desire created the problems.
Created the problems. And sometimes you will see people writing, this material world is situated in desire. So what does that statement mean? This material world is situated in desire. It is based on desire. If the desire is not there, there won't be any creation. There won't be any need to create that. Like that.
So,
That means
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
should
Mataji.
not have given freedom.
Yes. Yes.
If freedom was not there, no
Yes.
problem would have
Yes.
been there.
Yes. Yes. But then would
The
that
problem
be?
lies in freedom.
Yeah. And you said that 2 months ago also. I should not have been given the freedom, right? But then we are just machines and we are not, that true love won't come out, right? Like suppose if I program a computer and the moment you open the computer, it says, I love you. Will you really feel anything? You won't, because, I myself wrote the software that it says that, right? So it has to come, it has to be spontaneous. It has to come from the other party. And that's what Krishna is waiting for us, to do spontaneous devotional service to him. Right now, what we are doing is not spontaneous devotional service. We are wired, and our teachers are teaching us to practice. That's why we call that as Vaidihi Bhakti. Under rules and regulations, you are being told you do this, you do that, right? Many years ago, there was a television. What is that called here in USA? We call them episodes, right? So there was a television show that used to come multiple episodes. It was called Friends.
Yeah.
And it was very popular amongst the teenagers. And I've even forgotten the names. My daughter used to watch, so she used to ask me to come and watch. And so there was one of the heroes, there were multiple there. It's called Ross. And I'm forgetting the name of the lady, who she was. Anyway, we should say Stella, right? And so Stella loves Ross. And then but she never expresses it, or they're always fighting and things like that. So Ross doesn't know that she loves, but Ross also loves her, but given her behavior, is not able to say anything. And then Ross finally finds some other girl, and then she goes, and now this one, Stella, gets jealous, right? And this is so strictly etched in my mind that, and I was admiring it from the perspective of how good an actress she was. It was Jennifer Aniston. What a good actress she was. I mean, she was just saying that, oh, Ross, I miss you. But the way she said the word, like that, and I'm not even doing any justice to how she said it, but it was super the way she said it, right? Now, this is what Krishna wants. That when we are chanting to Krishna, when we are taking out Krishna's names and calling out to him, it should come from the heart. So right now, when we sit down and chant, it's not coming from the heart, at least for me. I am doing it because my spiritual master said, and I promised it, that I'm going to do 16 rounds, and it's an offense to break the promises to your spiritual master. That's why we're doing it. So it's not coming ragatmika. It's not coming from my heart. Raga means love. It's not coming from love. But by even chanting, back chanting continuously over a long period of time, those bhavas, the love will come out from your. So Krishna wants that from us. So he has to give you freedom to choose, right? Otherwise, what's the deal? What's the big deal? Right? Premai?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, to answer Jyoti Mataji's a question, that when did we start from the beginning, when we started being forgetful and all that, in that I was reading teachings of Lord Chaitanya written by Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is writing in chapter 4, since no one can trace the history of the living entity's entanglement in material energy, the Lord says that it is beginningless. By beginningless, it is meant that conditional life existed prior to the creation. It is simply manifested during and after the creation. Due to forgetfulness of his nature, the living entity, although spirit, suffers all kinds of miseries in material existence. It should be understood that there are also living entities who are not entangled in this material energy, but are situated in the spiritual world. They are called liberated souls and are always engaged in Krishna consciousness, devotional service. So
Exactly. Yes.
Jyoti
Thank you.
Mataji is saying that
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. I just thought I'll just share because I was reading the
Absolutely. And that's the proportion that I was saying, 1/4. We are 1/4 who are bad, right? And the 3/4 who are still there. And that's why those 3/4 are also sometimes called tripad vibhuti. Tripad means quarter. Tripad means 3/4. Tripad vibhuti. And in these verses that we read today, there also Prabhupada had said that, we don't know. And that's why they say from times immemorial. Immemorial, there's no way for you to get. Now, people do ask that question, but Prabhupada tells us, Prabhupada says, how does it matter when you fell down? The question that you should focus on is that I have fallen down here, right? Because somebody falls into the well and then he starts singing like, what was it that I fell? What angle was I leaning? What was the force with which, I fell? What was the age of the well? Nothing like that. Your thought at that point should be, I am in a well now. How the hell do I get out of it? Like that. So, yes, but thank you for quoting that. Yeah, teachings of God.
Radhesham Prabhu also gives one more example that suppose you go and you're watching something in the theater, you're in the theater and suddenly there's fire broke out in the theater and there is a hole which is like the emergency exit. Now, will you fight with your partner or whoever is sitting next to you? Will you fight with that person and waste your time, or will you quickly get out of that place? So you will work on exiting rather than your
Yeah.
petty problems or whatever you
Petty
have.
problems or the philosophical thing that as to why did that happen. Yeah. And he says, get out as soon as possible. Because this is Kali Yuga.
A
It's
good
only going to go
reminder.
worse.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. A
Yeah.
good reminder.
It's only
Hare
going to
That
Krishna.
means
get
we
worse.
should not
Yeah.
waste our energies on unnecessary questions.
Unnecessarily. Yeah. I mean, it's okay to for those thoughts to arise, but then as soon as you get an answer from Srila Prabhupada, then just stick to that answer.
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
one thing is good that at least I asked, I came to know.
Yes.
Otherwise, it would keep troubling me in my mind.
Yes. Yeah. But after having asked that question and gotten the answer for Srila Prabhupada, then it is our duty to follow that answer.
Ji.
Right? That's what he's saying. So you focus on that. Good. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So, Krishna also, you see, in the beginning, as it was discussed that in the beginning something happened. So, Krishna also had the desire to create this. After that,
Oh, yes. Do you
when
see?
they saw,
Everything. We read that verse. I didn't flash the verse, but Mame Vancho Jiva Loke.
Okay, Jiva
Jiva
Bhuta
Bhuta
Sanatana.
Right? Mama Shastan. So Mame Vancho, we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. So if you're
Yeah.
part and parcel of Krishna, any habit that you have is there in Krishna. So if there is a desire, if you have this tendency to enjoy, why do you have this tendency to enjoy? Because Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. You are his children. You will have that same tendency. He wants to create, you will also have the desire to create. But the problem here is that we could have created something in service of Krishna. Instead of that, we want to create something in our own service.
So, Mataji,
For our
sometimes Krishna must have felt bad also. That look at this, I created this, I created
Absolutely.
them, I gave the seed, and
Yes.
look at this, that they are
Yes.
behaving like that.
Yes. Don't we feel like that towards our children sometimes when they misbehave?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Krishna feels so bad. But he's so loving. He's so loving that that he's willing to forgive and forget. And he really misses us. That's why when you take one step towards Krishna, why does he take 10 towards you? Right? And we do that to our kids also, right? When the kids come and they say sorry, we immediately hug them, we completely forget what they did. Because of that, love is there. And this tendency to love your children is also coming from Krishna. But Krishna loves the children who are the soul, and we love the children who are the material body, right? The moment you start loving a child who's the soul, then there's no problem. Like that, right? So that's
That
perverted.
is so hard, Mataji.
It is not hard. It is not hard at all. Just peep into your child and see the soul there. Also, see the soul also. We hardly see the souls in our children, do we? We are only seeing the material body which is there. So when you start looking at it as the children as another jiva soul who is going through their own journey in the material world, right? That is who they are. And their journey and their pace and their speed could be different from ours.
Yeah.
That itself brings, like you see, happiness and distress for us. Though we don't know why are they suffering or why something is happening to them. Why are they so happy and why are they so sad? So it's their own journey.
Yep.
Mataji, I feel beyond a point, a parent can't help. Like Prahlad Maharaj says, a parent can't help.
Exactly. Yeah. Not even beyond a point, from point zero also. We just think that we are doing it. We just think, and that's why you see in like the child is sick and I brought the medicines, but the medicines will not work unless the will of God is there. Otherwise, why do some people die after eating the same medicine and some people live? It's the same medicine, same formula. Because the will of the Lord has to be there, right? The ultimate sanctioner of anything. Yeah.
Mataji, I also feel as parents, we put a lot of blame on ourselves, sometimes if the children are not behaving well, or if they're not Krishna conscious, and we start blaming.
Where does the thought process come? So go back a little bit, take back one step and see. So from where is that blaming process? Why is that blaming process starting? Because we were thinking, I am supposed to be doing this. I should have done something so that my child would have shape in this way. No, you're not the ultimate. In the case of your children, it's Kṛṣṇa who is the ultimate. Kṛṣṇa has decided for everybody, including me also, like that. Yeah, but so that is the illusion, and that is why so many times we saw illusionary energy, the bad energy, the confusing energy. This is the confusion. This is the big confusion. The moment you just take a step back and say, okay, these two souls who have come into my family and are living under the same roof and spending my money. You see, it is not even your money. Kṛṣṇa decided they will come to your house and they will use up whatever they're using up. They will use it. Right? So the whole thought process and the way you look at things changes. Right? And again, like, if you say that these are two souls who are coming into my... One day I just realized that there was a silverfish in my house, those small, tiny insects, right? It was roaming around. And then after some time, I saw very tiny, tiny silverfishes, and they were under the mat in the bathroom, there. So wherever there's moisture, they will come. And then I was just thinking that what it took me to come here, what it took me to purchase this flat, how much of hard work and toil and labor. And then what is the silverfish doing? Nicely living in my house, producing children, has a nice family, has everything there, a lot happening underneath that mat. And then I realized that, I might think that this is my house. And I was also thinking that, I'm in my late stages in life. And I was thinking that once we die, then this house is going to go to some other person's place, right? It'll go into some other person's name. Somebody else is going to live in this flat and is going to own this flat. And that's when the temporality of the whole thing struck me. That, it was never my flat. Kṛṣṇa just arranged for me to stay in it, like that. So this whole thing is very, very temporary and nothing belongs to us. So similarly, when you look at our children and we say that these two children just, number one, use my body as a pipe to come into this world, right? And they are souls in themselves. They have their own destination. They have their own responsibilities. And, of course, as parents, we will be doing some controllership. We will execute there because it's our duty also to take care of them. But other than that, is Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa who is
Like a friend of mine bought a house, a big mansion, and she called all of us. And then everyone was praising how nice the house is and how big it is and all. And they said, wow, really nice house you bought. And she's saying, no, it's not mine, it's the bank's.
It's the bank's, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so, like you buy a house or whatever property you buy, and then you're paying the mortgage, and then the mortgages are over, and then you're so happy the title comes in your name. Right? Like,
Yes,
oh, I
yes,
have a house and my name is on the title, on the deed, my name shows there. And then people will tell you like, oh, you know what, now you're going older, and here the rules are very stringent. If you die like that, your children, it's going to take such a long time for your children to do that. Why don't you set up a trust? And lo and behold, now the title goes in the name of the trust. So, nothing is permanent in this material world.
Mataji, if children makes mistake, usually when they are very young, who will they blame? Parents? What kind of parents brought them?
Yes. That's what I said a minute or so ago, that we have to exercise some of the controllership because they are under our custody.
Yeah.
So you will have to do that, right? And then also, sometimes you also have to remember that it's not that parents have to be blamed for everything, right? And now that you understand karma, the parent doesn't have to be blamed for 100% of the things. And the jiva soul is not small or big. The jiva soul doesn't have an age, right? It just says it's a big body or a small body. The jiva soul already had a desire, was already destined to go and murder somebody. It's just that the body was small in size. When the body became the appropriate size, it went and killed. Like that. And what has
as Krishna's children, if we do some mistake, what will happen?
You tell what has happened. Right?
You have to be careful. Not doing.
Yeah, you have to be careful not to do it, right? Yeah, so the blame, and I have seen that a lot of people, even when they grow up big and they commit some crime and they say, oh, my mother didn't love me when I was small. This is blame game. You have to take ownership beyond a certain age. You cannot say like this and that, right? It's a mutual thing. Parents are taken care of. You're supposed to abide by the house rules and like that, right?
Mataji, according to the other ways of living, like you see other dharmas, Muslims don't believe that there is a soul and it carries on. They believe in that one death takes place, it's gone. And Christians also believe in the same. Though they keep saying, may your soul rest in peace. I don't know. Why are they saying that when they believe?
No, I don't know. I don't know who told you that Muslims don't believe in soul. Muslims believe in soul, so do the Christians, right? And the difference between our philosophy and the other philosophies, majorly, right? Some of the Abrahamic religions, is that we believe in rebirth.
Yeah,
right?
they don't believe.
They don't believe in rebirth, but they believe in the soul.
Right. They don't believe in rebirth. They feel everything is over at the time of death.
Yes, yeah. If this is over the time of death, and so if you did not live life properly, you will rot in hell forever. And if you lived your life properly, then you will live in heaven forever, right? But this philosophy that we are exercising is more forgiving philosophy, because it continues to give chance after chance after chance, right? And various situations it gives you. 84 lakh, right? 8,400,000 ways in which you can,
yes,
live
Mother.
life, yeah.
Another point
And then over
comes
and
to
over
my
again.
Another point comes to my mind concerning this is that if we know that the soul has to go and take the other body, in that case, you see, there is a kind of fear in the mind, and that fear is good, that we will not do that kind of a thing. So that we are, so this way we can improve the society.
We can improve the society, definitely. However, having said that, even if you don't believe in rebirth, and if you continue to do wrong things, the society is still there to punish you, right? If I go and steal anything, if I say there's no God, or there's only one life, whatever, right? And I go and steal something, even if God is not doing anything, or God still does, but the police will come and catch you. You will be still thrown into a jail, whether there is God or not God, whether you believe there is God or no God, right? And also remember, there's this whole thing of rules being set up, constitutions being made and all that. That is all happening under the will of Kṛṣṇa. It doesn't happen without the will of Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa is the one who's also maintaining this law and machinery, or the breakdown of the machinery also. Everything happens under his will, for one reason or the other, like that.
So, Mataji, I need to leave, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, it's Sutapa's sleeping time and mine also.
Yeah, Hare Krishna,
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Okay,
Mataji.
so on that happy note, we'll call it a day. This Saturday, I will send out the announcement. This Saturday, I'm going to be teaching in the house of my god sister Sonal, the new Sonal, and my god brother, who is her son, Ritvik. And Ritvik is a wizard. He has memorized, I think, 10 or 12 chapters, full chapters, and he's hardly 10,
Wow.
11 or 12 years old. Yeah, amazing. The way he comes in, the way he speaks at the temple also, it's just, so deep, so deep. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll be there. So I will broadcast. We'll be continuing to read the 4-question art book, and we'll be doing the last chapter this time. Okay, I will broadcast it on Facebook and YouTube.
Sorry,
and-
Mataji, I was late. I was listening to some God's prayers on my iPad, and I couldn't come back to this class.
You were doing a better thing.
Yeah. Then by the time I saw that, God, time was up.
Mataji, when are you going to be doing these 4 questions? You'll be putting it up on WhatsApp?
I will be putting it up on WhatsApp. No, I will put it up. Yeah, our WhatsApp group. Yeah, it comes on the same Zoom. The same Zoom call. You can join the Zoom call, or you can go to my Facebook and you can listen to it. It will be in your morning, on your Sunday morning, my Saturday evening, around 6 o'clock, 6:30, or around 6:30 or 7 a.m. your time it will start. And it will be recorded. So if you miss, you can listen.
Okay, which is tomorrow and Sunday, right? For us.
Saturday.
Yeah. No, don't confuse.
Sunday
Wow,
morning
for-
for her. Yeah.
Yeah. So Preeti, for you, it will be Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's in the description, right, Mataji? So I'll check it.
Yeah, I haven't yet posted. I will post it after this class. I will post it.
Okay.
I'll
I
post
wish
the
I knew
announcement.
about it because you're on the last chapter. of
Yes,
focus.
I have recorded all of them. There's a playlist. I can share the YouTube playlist with you so that you can start from the beginning and hear.
with me
Some parts
also,
of the class, I will post it on the WhatsApp group. So you can hear, you won't be able to hear some parts of the class. And the reason for that is that the students in the class are reading from the book. So if you keep your book with you, you will know, right? And off late, I also purchased the ebook version of that. So now I share it also on the screen so that when people are reading, those who are watching it online and don't have a book, they can just look at the screen and they can read it.
You're not planning to repeat the reading? It's over.
No, because all of them are so tired of me teaching it for like 8 months because we went so deep and it's not that they were tired, but they're very eager to do Bhagavad-gītā. So yeah, so we'll do that. Of course, we do Bhagavad-gītā here also. We are in the 9th chapter. And we'll start the Bhagavad-gītā again over there. I might go a little faster over there because it's a home program. I might try to cover one full chapter in a day, whereas here we cover one verse and we go deeper, right? So for different audiences, there are different classes. Okay. All right. Fine. Thank you so much for amazing participation, and Dandavat Pranams, Pushpa Mataji and Niral Prabhu. I had seen you in the class.
Pranam Mataji, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much.
Krishna.
कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो नमः.
Thank you, Mataji, for the best class ever.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.